Mexico's oil production, Mexico is one of the top 5 or 6 oil producers, I believe, in the world. Its oil production peaked in 2003. It's been declining, and some people forecast it will become a net oil importer in the future. How is that affecting the outlook for renewable energy in Mexico?
After the energetic reform that the Congress just passed in Mexico 2 years ago, we are having a new financing fund for researching and developing renewable energies in Mexico. So we are working with the Ministry of Energy in order to really find another ways to work and not depending all the time in oil.
Do you know what percentage of renewable energy Mexico uses today?
Including hydroelectrical, we are using 24%, and we want to increase till 26% at the end of the year 2012. This is what President Calderón, President of Mexico, just declared, and we are working in order to reach this percentage, which we think is really important.
It's a lot higher than the United States. The U.S. has not passed a climate law. President Obama has pledged 17% reductions. How does the lack of a U.S. policy on climate affect the prospects for Cancun?
I think that Mexico began doing this process, knowing this situation in the case of the U.S., and we will continue. We just had a meeting on the Commission for Environmental Cooperation with Lisa Jackson, the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency here in the USA, and we were talking about this issue. We need to continue building this strategy, not only for the USA, but as well for Europe, for Africa, Latin America, Asia, Mexico. All the countries should be working all the time trying to find some solutions in order to show the best scenario in Cancun to make easy negotiations.
One area of promise to some people is what's called subnational actors, that is state to state. Several Mexican states are part of the Western Climate Initiative with U.S. states and Canadian provinces. So what's happening sort of from on a state to state or city to city level that might be more promising than the country to country level, which is kind of moving very slowly?
We think that in this case, for example, the state of California, who has a real leadership on environmental performance, is helping a lot. We are looking in Cancun not only for the official track negotiation, but to work with the universities, the private sector, the legislators, the NGOs. Everybody can do something to find a solution for the climate change. And we don't want to depend only on the official track.
Last question is, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change requires 194 countries to all agree. And I'd have a hard time getting 10 people to agree on where to go for dinner. Do you think that that framework, the UN process, can ever get 194 countries to agree on something so important as how they power their economies, or that progress will happen through another organization, another format, perhaps smaller countries, the G20 or the major economies? Can the UN really deliver?
What I have been doing in this year is visiting the ministers from Africa, the small island states, India, China, Europe, Latin America. We have been working very hard. If the countries, if the parties can understand that it's not able to find a really useful dynamic, we need to think with the UN another format of negotiation in the future. If it's not evolutioning, if it's not helping to the world to a very serious problem, we need to plan this initiative into the UN to find another way to collaborate and to find a solution for this issue. I think Mexico can help as well with all the experience that we are having in order to find a real solution for climate change.
how long do you think the UN should be given to produce something before you say, look, we got to try something else?
I think it depends a lot on the results of Cancun. Maybe if we are able to find in the fast starting fund, the protection of forest and rainforest around the world, and all the countries are working, we could reduce 20% of the emissions of the world just by the conservation of forest and rainforest. So this is one of the issues that we are looking for. But it depends on the volunteer and the initiative of the other 193 parties.
Yeah, that's the problem. Secretary Elvira, thank you for coming to Climate One today.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you very much.